All right, my fellow agents, welcome back. It is I, X7, your agent of awesome action and the host of Zenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters. Today, we are going to be talking about one of the more rare Italian movies about superheroes that came out in the wake of Batman in 1966. This is Goldface, the Fantastic Superman, or as he was called in Italy, Goldface, Il Fantastico Superman. And it's pretty good. It's a little too long for its own good, but I did find a wonderful print of it, just amazing looking. And because the previous one, I'll show you an example just of the title, how gross it was. Sorry, it was not a very good. I mean, it was multi-generational, which is how I saw it the first time. But before we get too much further into this, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Tell me what you think about these Italian semi-super people like Super Argo, Goldface, Flashman, Argo Man. I like them in general because it's just fun to see, especially these days, to see non-CGI enhanced creations. But let me know what you think. So, having said all that, let's roll. So the show does start out, the movie that is, with some really nifty semi-animated graphics, the title and everything. All the while, the Cobra's men are conducting a raid on Gunnar. I think it was Gunnar. Well, let's see if I can find out. Yeah, or Guler as he's in the Italian language, but Gunnar in the English dub. The movie itself, which is there's the title to come up. This is what the American or the copy we'd see here in the States was multi-generational. It just washed out, full screen. No wonder it has a bad rap. But this one, Big Matthews, is the name of a man here who was Attilio Severini. This was Pamela's assassin. You'll know him when you see him. So, directed by Stanley Mitchell, and it stars Espartaco Santoni as Dr. Villar as Goldface, and he was playing. Oh, he's got a different name here, but let's see. Nope, I'll click on that one then. He went by something else, but he was from Venezuela, and this movie is indeed a co-production of Italy and Venezuela, mostly shot in Venezuela. So that's kind of cool there. So there's the sign of the Cobra, who is our bad guy long before G.I. Joe or even Godzilla, who fought Cobra before G.I. Joe did. Now, I don't know if Cobra in DC Comics was around, and I don't even know if he's a good guy or a bad guy or what that was. So be that as it may, we get too far into the weeds here. They blow up Matthew. Oh, it's Businessman Matthew's party. So pardon me, it's not Gunner. Spoilers. So there he is right there, along with, I think that's his daughter and the police inspector. And they were looking at the damage. So because they shot this mostly in Venezuela, they had expansive use of the entire country. And it looks really nice. The movie was released in 1967, so very current with Batman, who was still on, and Super Argo and all the rest that I mentioned earlier. It runs 100 minutes. It would have worked a little better at 90 minutes. I love superhero stuff, but it's a little sprawly for what it needs to be, but we'll try to get this down. So there's Dr. Villar himself, and his assistants there are almost all women. And then it's the I think that's oh geez, I did watch this a couple of days ago, so I don't remember exactly who everybody is. But it's a fun movie overall. Let's see, that's not Pamela. No, no. Well, she wanted to go with the Rassels. Now we will see some subtitles here because there were subtitles on the print I had, and I decided to use them while listening to the English language dub. Anyway, that's her father. He wants her to be, taken care of, more assistance. And now we fly, they're the people are flying into Venezuela or flying out of it. But so they really make good use of everything here. Although that is a rather sparsely attended wrestling match for the champion of the world, and it's a battle royale. So there he is, Goldface. The costume does leave a bit to be desired. I don't know if I'd have put the red trim on it. I've tried to keep it with the blue and gold if they were to ask me. It certainly is memorable. And he does take his cape off, which, even Santo did fight with the cape on every once in a while. There are the girls cheering him on, thinking he's so sexy, even though they can't see anything about him. Now, that is his assistant, Lothar, who was played by Mario Brito, and it's just called Goldface's assistant as Lothar. So they swiped that name right from Lee Falk not Mandrake the Magician, not the Phantom. So Lothar in recent years has been much upgraded and a true partner to. He played Lothar quite a few times, Lotario. So, yeah, wow, yep, as Lothar. So that might have been similar to. I mean, and this guy is muscular. He's put together, and similar to Yang Zhe being known as Bolo for the rest of his career after being an Enter the Dragon, right? Anyway, they're a good partnership. He doesn't say stupid things. They don't have him talking grunts, and he's kind of smarter than Goldface at times. But there's a German reporter there, and I think this man is I don't remember, but she wants to get an interview with old Goldface. Wrestling's pretty good. It's not El Santo level. I mean, obviously that's a stunt double there, but there's some funny bits here with her trying to interview him. He wins. They hoist him on his shoulders. This guy says, "Well, I can't ever get an interview with him. I just make stuff up and then send it back to his publisher." So I think the German photographer tries that too. And now we're in the conglomerates of businessmen that Dr. Villar is late for because he's sitting there making out with one of his assistants. What a ladies' man! He's a good-looking guy, Mr. Espartaco Santoni. But there he shows up, and they're going to pay the ransom to the Cobra, so he'll quit blowing things up. But then Dr. Villar volunteers, but he's not Superman. I added the other words because that's the line from the Vapors' second album. And there is Pamela, the Cobra's number one aide. She's as deadly as they come. She's got a golden gun. What a surprise. She's the woman with the golden gun. Dr. Villar gives them the money and seems really unconcerned. And off they go, because there's a bug in the money. And there's the Makuto Sheraton. So they probably got paid to use that. There's Big Tony, right? Big Matthew, pardon me. They're all playing cards. And I thought I recognized this backdrop. That's why I took that picture. But Pamela still has a mask on, and this poor little bellboy or bellhop or elevator man is just looking at her. I see what I mean by Lothar being put together. And it looks like, 1967, they're doing the wall climbing bit without a bat rope or a spider web. And there you go. They do a good job, or a stunt double does. Yeah, there's Big Matthew. And there's the Cobra. So we haven't seen his identity yet. Keeps his back to us, but he's not wearing a mask. In bursts Goldface. We get some fighting, some drop kicks, some judo kicks. I know there's no kicks in judo. and more fighting. He jumps out of the building and lands right in there into the swimming pool with the money bag. More fighting, a lot of fighting in here, and that's at least that's not Apricot, but it's a ridiculous looking little dog. They wake up and Dr. Relar shows up. I just like the old phones. And there's one of the Cobra's men giving a judo chop to the girl there. Pam and Big Matthew are watching. He's fixed her bike, so it'll kill her or something. And Goldface, the Masked Rider himself, 1967, zooms in. He looks a little large for that bike, but there's him doing a Goldface jump. He rescues her, and there the subtitles start here. And he disappears. Gular, yes, Gular is a Cobra member who's faking it. And there she is, water skiing, fighting on the beach in the sand, which had to get in those boots. At least the other guys didn't have to worry about too much; they could rinse everything off. This little kid just knows who Goldface is, gives him his toy, wants a cream cake. But yeah, I thought that was funny. They're all laughing. She does a perfect dismount from her slalom skiing. My sainted mother is a very good water skier. And look at that Corvette. Oh, look at that 60s Corvette. That was, geez, just a gorgeous looking car. You know me. Okay, so this is Olga. And we're not sure who she is, but there's some flirtatious there. Pam's fencing with the Cobra, so we don't see his face. But now we're going to see his face. And they just kill him. Boom. And there we find out who he is. Forget who. Well, we'll find out. So, and then he kills Big Matthew. So off they go. And so it moves along in a hurry. I just think so back to flirting with Olga. And she's in love with Goldface. Can't even see him, but Goldface meets the chief of police at an undisclosed location. Yeah, so they know who that gunner or Gular is the bad guy, and now they try the old, he's wearing a mask. They can fake it out. I'd like call it. I thought Fool's Goldface was inspired. Now Goldface is also a Green Lantern villain, the second Green Lantern, who was introduced in Green Lantern Volume 2, number 38, created by Gardner Fox and Gil Kane. His gimmick is that he's all in gold, so Hal's ring back then had no power over the color yellow, and I guess gold is a yellowish color, right? More Rassels coming up here, but the real Goldface is miles away with Lothar. So I don't know if the guy in red is on the take, but he just beats the stuffing out of him. And look, Bill 7-Up. I can't tell, but Seagram's or 7-Up. They kind of obscured it right there. And then he really shows up and unmasks him. And now they arrest this guy. And he wants to look around and see if they can find anything. Now, Lothar is always eating peanuts or something. Maybe pepperoncinis. I don't know. But he's always got some. They're doing secret invest. So he's also a detective. And now we're watching the detectives. They're not that cute, though. And the gang shows up. Now we get to see Lothar gets in some good licks here. I just kept this because anyone who's a student of wrestling might know if these were actual people or not. Charles Romero versus the the Black Vampire, Dragon Chino, the Chinese dragon, the human bear, Quasimodo. Of course, we know who that is. Ling Sung. Yeah. Enciclopedia de Lucha es Profundo. Yeah. So there he goes. That's a good selling. See, you can tell that he's a wrestler because he's getting thrown over the top rope and doesn't want to go. And there's his lair, sort of. Actually, he's at his job. And he calls that guy and he tells him, and there's Gunnar. And they do the old fool's gold face with both the both Lothar and Doctor what's his name? Um, Jeez, Doctor Vilar. Well, the real Goldface and Lothar, and they just keep him back and forth. But they keep the costume on as they go skating off. Now they can find out where the Cobra's hideout is, and he takes off in a plane. So he's a good pilot too. He's good. Look at this, just gorgeous. The photography is gorgeous, which you lose, of course. There's Olga, who's on, and it looks like her lovely stingray. I think someone's being fed false information. Pamela, how's it going, eh? Dad, they've kidnapped me. I thought Pamela was the assassin. Oh, well, anyway. So off they go to the rescue. And this is it. So he dresses up in one of the Cobra's outfits, and Lothar just breaks the barbed wire. Cobra is he's a little full of himself. Yeah, and he shoots another one. So he's not good for people who betray him, which is probably smart. The municipal police, let's run some red lights. But that wasn't quite the password, so he beats up the two bodyguards. Off they go. They want to keep her alive. He doesn't slap. So he won't slap a woman. She will, because she does. Pamela does. And now he changes back into Goldface. And the action commences. There's the signal to run in. She wants him to stay, but he's mental. And another signal, and off we go. So it's got all the tropes, where the good guys run in. If we ever get around to The Million Eyes of Sumeru, which we should because I really enjoy that movie. Speedboats. Olga shows up with a gun. Cobra wants to blow up the base, and then she's like, but she's trying to save everyone. Olga shows up. They have a bit of a cat fight, and Pamela gets shot. Kaboom! Counter espionage. All right. Round up the others. I don't know. I'm sure that's a stuntman, but they have a nice little gag there. You won't make it. He doesn't make it. What a dive. I don't even remember what happens there, but he gets blown up. He blows up real good. And once more, back to the Battle Royale. Flying drop kick. Is allowed him to. So he gets pinned. Olga pins him, and by an extraordinary lady. And I don't think Major Olga Peterson of the Secret Service, I don't think the Goldface minds at all. The best pies. And that is the end. And see you soon. We do not ever see Goldface again, which is a bit sad. Once again, I don't know what book I'm going to be reviewing tomorrow. Probably find out when I do. And other than that, we got a 4-minute trailer here for Goldface at the end. Let me know what you think about it. I mean, he's obviously not a patch on Santo or even a Super Argo. I think he's pretty fun. Like I said, I mean, it's at least in a different venue, a whole different country, Venezuela. I liked it. I think it's a worthy addition, a lesser addition. When we get to Flashman, that'll be an interesting one as well. And that is not the Japanese Flashman. All right, my fellow agents. This is X7, and until our next assignment, I am both signing off and phasing out.